Welcome back, friends. Lost Guy here, and it's time for more Greatest Attorney. I don't remember what the heck I was going to do, but I don't think there's anything we need to read, so let's just go. Moving on. Let's go talk to this guy. Barclay Prison. Let's go here. Gotta guess we might want to go here. 2nd November, Barclay Prison, Governor's Office. Oh, back again, are you? Yes. Hello. I've heard all about your investigations. I read the report just now. You found him, eh? Vigil? Yes, luckily. Well, anywho, the laddie doesn't know work here no more. So your case is not to do with Barclay. I wouldn't have liked you to get the wrong idea about that. Of course, yes. Mr. Vigil stopped working here 10 years ago now, so... Yes, we've seen dismissal notice, haven't we? He was given a chop. Hey, Kimmer. You can very well. How about a wee handcuff biscuit? Oh, the willy. I like little handcuffs. And as hard as irons, too. So, what's what you doing here today? Well, there's something else we'd like to ask you about, actually. Is that so? With his infinite biscuit. We believe there might have been a document that disappeared from Genshin Asogi's cell. I think it's been called the Asogi Papers or something? Oh my god, he's not going to react well to that. Did I no say? Gregson's death is not to do with things that might have happened at Barclay. Leave the past in the past, laddie. Let's not footer about with irreverent details. His expressions changed completely. We're clearly onto something here. Alright, let's press the man. Press him good. 10-year-old legacy. That murder's botched execution, and the whole miserable escape. They were Barclay's darkest hour, aye. A shocking embarrassment. Because the convict had a collaborator on the prison staff, you mean? Aye, for shame. The coroner confirmed the death of the man after his execution, Courtney Scythe. And my chief warder at the time, Vigil, who was in charge of the whole affair. But Mr. Vigil says he didn't know anything about it. The rascal wouldn't have said otherwise, eh? My handcuffs. Oh, how could I say no? You can never have too much iron in your diet. Well, Mr. Vigil was handed his dismissal notice as a result of what had happened. He was so despairing, he jumped out of the your office window, didn't he? I didn't like to say, but that's just Vigil trying to get out of it. Do you not think he wouldn't have just jumped from the shock of his crime being exposed, eh? I do. You wouldn't have say otherwise, though, would you? I thought that... okay. Of course I couldn't have shown all the responsibility myself. I shouldn't have just let him deceive me. Actually, there's barely anybody that kens what went on at the time now. With Gregson having been murdered, and Dr. Scythe forbidden from having any visitors. No visitors? Someone obviously doesn't want her giving anything away. Well, we're not going home empty-handed. And I wouldn't have dreamed of sending you packing with not, Kimber. Yeah, take a handcuff or two. Oh, well, it would be rude to say no. Wouldn't want to become anemic. Oh my god. I suppose if there's anybody who might still ken about what happened back then, it'd be that lass from the forensic division. Maria Gori. Maria Gori, really? Maria Gori? Oh, I got another voice I gotta figure out. Okay. Hey, Say's daughter. She didn't have no more, just the one. But the wee bairns followed in her mum's footsteps. You didn't ever see her without a scalpel in her hand. Ah! Yeah, I got zero memory of this chick. Alright. Oh, wait. I need a cup. Give me a cup. You need to have a cup for Bane voice. Alright, using my hands. Oh, how will this come out? Mama, what is this? There we go, we're doing it. Ah, well, where did she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? Hello! Okay. Did Dr. Sai's daughter Maria Gory? Dr. Sai's daughter Maria Gory. We could do with talking to her. Gory, forget it. So she's Dr. Sai's daughter, but her surname is Gory? Aye, there's some family history, I'm sure, but I dinna ken the ins and outs of it. You grew up watching her mom working with the bodies of folk who died in strange circumstances, and decided to do the same with her own life. I can't understand it myself. Perhaps she was driven by a deep respect for her mother. Perhaps. Anywho, she was in charge of Gregson's autopsy, I believe. Oh, right, and the coroner responsible for this incomplete report. Someone told me once that the wee lassie always loved her mom's stories about cutting up bodies. There's even a rumor that she used to listen to the funeral march as a lullaby. That's weird. Well, then perhaps her mother might have told her about the autopsy from the case 10 years ago. Aye, I'd say there's a fighting chance at least. After all, that was a life-changing case for all of us. We really need to speak to Miss Gory herself about this, I think. Thank you very much. I'm no happy about no part of this. It took years for Londoners to finally figure the whole professor business. Can you no give up this? Can you no give up this? Can you not give up on this? Can you no give up on this, laddie? Stop asking pointless questions. I'm sorry, I don't like dredging up these painful memories for everyone. Can you no just stay away, no? Leave me alone and dinna come back here, eh? The truth is the truth. Some people have to hunt it down. How do you come to ken about that, laddie? There's no many folk, even here in the prison, who've heard of those papers. Ah. Well, I can't tell, Mr. Visual told me. You can. I'm afraid our sources must remain confidential, sir. Huh. We've been led to believe the papers are actually a last will and testament, is that right? The professor's, or rather, Genshin Asogi's. Aye, that's right. You're well informed, Jimmy. Oh, is that the end of the silent treatment? But then after the convict's execution, it mysteriously vanished from his cell, didn't it? Heavens no. You're off at half cock there. I think you didn't quite get your facts straight. It was there in the cell, exactly where it should have been. Oh, now what we heard elsewhere. So he's lying to us. Let me just have a wee look around in here. I'm sure I can find it. Aye, here they are, you see. The last will and testament of Genshin Asogi, written with a calligraphy brush. Of course I cannot read a word of these Japanese squiggles. But I mind it says he leaves all his worldly possessions to his son back in his homeland. Yes, that's correct. That's the gist of it. Is that real, though? So these are the Asogi papers? Aye, of course they are. Papers written by Asogi. No doubt about it. There's no mystery here, laddie. That's your lot. After all, this Strama show that slashed over this execution. He sent the man's possessions back to his clan in Japan, and that was the end of it. I think we ought to make a record of this, Mr. Naruhodo, just in case. Rather show this to Kazuma or something. The papers have been added. One thing before you go on your way, Mr. Naruhodo. Oh, yes? Those papers are not to do with Gregson's death. I prefer it if you did not make no mention of them outside this office. Or rather, in the court. Yep. I wouldn't have just preferred it, considered an order from the highest level of a government. I understand. Alright. I hit the wrong button. So let's see our court record. Take a look at some things. Here's a commemorative photo. Anything in here to care about? Not really, as far as I know. Unless one of these symbols comes up, right? Maybe one of these symbols. Everyone looks happy. Nothing going on here. Yeah, nothing going on. I think it's just a camera photo. Not everything is used eventually. Look at these papers. I, Genshin Asogi, hereby request upon my death all my prisoners go to Kazuma Asogi. Okay. It is with deep sadness that I accept my fate in this foreign land and the knowledge that I will never see my homeland or my family again, but I regret nothing about my chosen path. Wait, could that really be his last weapon? That could just be fake. We're probably gonna go see Kazuma next. Like right here, probably Kazuma here. Yep, there he is. Probably showing the papers, maybe. 2nd November, British Supreme Court, Lord Chief Justice's office. No arguments, Prosecutor Asogi. You will continue with the trial exactly as I instructed. Is that clear? Perfectly. It's Kazuma-san. Defying Lord Strongheart by the sound of it, he never did know when to back down. On your way now, Asogi. My lord. Kazuma. Oh, we're gonna talk to Strongheart, not Kazuma? Okay. He left without saying a word. Yeah, so much for being your best friend right now. Yes, what are you doing here? Oh, well, I was just hoping to ask you a few questions, if you wouldn't mind. I wanted Von Zeke's trial concluded today. But Prosecutor Asogi's unwelcome inquiries are going to make it take longer than necessary. Unwelcome inquiries? About the past? As a result, I'm losing even more precious time. Currently 2 hours, 55 minutes and 41 seconds, 42, 43... Then we must solve everything before 3 hours have passed, Miss Naruhodo. In a miraculous not even 5 minutes? Anyway, I can't let the man's obvious bad mood put me off. I need information. Here we go. The Reaper. Does Prosecutor Asogi believe that Lord Von Zeeks is the Reaper? I wouldn't know. It was 10 years ago, in that fateful closed trial, that Lord Von Zeeks made a name for himself among the judiciary. At the next trial he fought, he lost. It meant the ringleader of a criminal organization was acquitted thanks to all the jurors being under duress. But that's awful! The man's freedom was short-lived. He lasted just 3 days. Yes, let me see. He died in a rockslide at his place of work, I believe. What? Correct. That was the inauguration of the Reaper of the Bailey. And people believed Lord Von Zeeks was responsible? He was brought to trial himself, but it was shown to have been an accident. So he must have had a solid alibi then. Nevertheless, the mysterious deaths continued. In total, 16 persons perished in unusual circumstances, ostensibly at the hand of the Reaper. That's a long run of coincidences. Well, the Reaper's true identity may well be revealed by this trial. And the impact that revelation would have on the British public cannot be understated. Is that why it's a closed trial? Precisely. Closed trial. This country hasn't seen a closed trial for 10 years. So the last one was the Professor's? Trial of Genshin Asogi? Correct. Actually, we heard that originally. You were going to prosecute that trial yourself, Lord Strongheart. Von Zieks entreated me to relinquish the prosecution to him, that he might avenge his brother's death. And here we are, 10 years later. With the son of the man Von Zieks had condemned now looking to avenge his father's death in the same way. They do say that what goes around comes around. Would the Japanese know that saying? However, it would seem that the new young prosecutor is harboring some ulterior motive as well. Kazuma? Kazuma is? I like my organization to run smoothly in the exact manner that I prescribe. As with the giant clock in here, I won't tolerate a single cog being out of step with the others. Ah, but that's what all these gears are about in here. If the young man refuses to mesh with the other parts of my great machine, I will be forced to take steps. What? What do you mean? Not something with which you need concern yourself. In any case, all your questions will be answered tomorrow. Huh? That's all we got for him, alright. Now, I shall have to ask you to excuse me. As of this moment, I've been delayed from attending my next meeting by precisely 3 hours. Oh my, that is a long time. And I hold you entirely responsible. Even though we miraculously managed to fit everything into not even 5 minutes? I wonder if you might agree. To us, talking with Prosecutor Asogi. Discussions between the defense and the prosecution outside of the courtroom are generally frowned upon. However, I will make an exception in this case. Now go. You can find him in his office. Oh, thank you! Gonna be freaking Von Zieks' office, maybe? Let's go see him at once, Mr. Naruhodo. Kazuma's my best friend in the world, but I'm really not at all sure I know how to talk to him at the moment. And Little Iris did not put any input in that one. New location added. Prosecutor's office. We have permission now. Let's pay Kazuma-sama a visit. Here we go. Second November, Prosecutor's office. It is Von Zieks' place. Little toy soldiers. Huh. So this is the office of Prosecutor Sogi now, is it? Kazuma-sama's doing so well for himself. Even though he's always forced to kneel on the floor Japanese style in that dark corner? It's his habit to sit sisha style whenever he's working. Bleh. That can't be good for the knees. Kazuma! I thought it wouldn't be long before you paid me a visit, Ryunosuke. I was right about what I said, wasn't I? Sorry? That you have all the makings of a great defense lawyer. Well, I always believed that you'd fulfill your dream of advocating in the British courts. I just never imagined for 1 second that it would be as a prosecutor. Seeing you stand in a foreign courtroom, so gallantly realizing your dream, Kazuma-sama. I'm truly happy for you. And I am truly thankful to you, Judicial Assistant Mikatoba. Ryunosuke, I always thought it would be fun for you and I to shake up the British legal system a little together. This isn't quite how I envisioned it, but I suppose it's just another twist of fate. I've learned a lot of things during my time in London. About how Sasato-san's father was himself a visiting student here once, along with Judge Jigoku. And about what happened with your father. Then you'll have no difficulty understanding why I had no choice, why I had to find a way to get to Britain as a visiting student myself. I want to hear it from you, Kazuma. As you wish, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Freaking this music, your disappearance. It's getting on for a year now, since what happened on the SS Buria. We were heading across the oceans from Japan to Great Britain, when a bizarre series of coincidences led to those tragic events. I thought I'd lost my best friend forever. I must have been unconscious for a long time. When I awoke, I was lying on a bed. It was a narrow little room. There was a posy of flowers by the pillow. It took me a little while to realize that I was in the cabin of a ship. I slipped out of the room and headed up onto the deck. Were you already suffering from amnesia at the time? Yes, I didn't know what had happened or where I was. There was just this voice in my head. You have something you have to do, something no one else can know about. Go to Britain. Your task awaits you there. It was a calling I couldn't ignore. It compelled me relentlessly. Out on deck, I saw that I was on a huge steamship and we were docked in a large port. It must have been Hong Kong. Yes, it must have been, presumably just before they were due to carry your body off the ship. I had no idea of the situation, but I did have the feeling that this was in some way my last chance. So I concealed myself among the disembarking passengers and went ashore. Then I disappeared into the crowded streets of that foreign port city, so I could plan my onward journey to Great Britain. Your journey to Britain. Just under a year ago, with all my past memories lost to me, I was left behind in Hong Kong. Everything was foreign to me, the sights, the sounds, the smells. My head reeled. I was truly at a loss. I realize now that I had escaped as a dead man, with nothing but the clothes on my back. No money, of course. Oh, how terrifying for you. Luckily, though, I had 2 feathers in my cap. One being your knowledge of English, I suppose. In Hong Kong, of all places. That's right, and on the back of that, I was able to pick up some work as a deckhand on a cargo ship. Eventually, after calling at countless ports, I finally arrived at Dover. That must have been some 3 months ago now. Just 3 months, really? Your formidable tenacity of purpose showing itself again. I mean, the man had lost his memory and had literally nothing to do with his name. But he still managed to make his way to London on the opposite side of the world? Of course, I had no idea why I'd moved heaven and earth to get here at that point. So, how did you end up becoming Lord Von Zeke's apprentice, then? That can only be called an extraordinary stroke of luck, really. You see, I was stopped at the border because I had no papers. They took me straight to Scotland Yard. And by sheer coincidence, Lord Strongheart was there to attend a meeting. That's when the second feather in my cap came into play. Would that have been your knowledge of the law? Yes, exactly. Lord Strongheart was curious about an Easterner with intimate knowledge of British law. He took me back with him to the Supreme Court and assigned me to the prosecutor's office. And then, 9 days ago, you finally got your memory back after the trial involving Drebber. It's been that recent? Jeez. Yes, I did. Oops, wrong controller. Go back in there. Your father Genshin impact. Ever since I first met you at Yume, you talked about your dream. Mark my words, Reinosuke, I'll be chosen as a visiting student and make my way to Great Britain someday. Did you know the entire time about what happened to your father here? Oh, good question. 16 years ago. When my father left on that exciting trip to Great Britain, I was just a boy. We took a photograph together the day before his departure. It's my last memory of him. But what I remember most about my father is his unswerving sense of justice. 6 years after he left, a gentleman called at our family home. He told me that Genshin, my father, had been taken ill in England and passed away. It was Professor Mikotoba, your father, Susato-san. Oh my! Ever since then, the professor was very good to me. He even helped me to fund my university education at Yume. I'll be forever in his debt. But nevertheless, I just couldn't bring myself to believe what he'd told me. Oh. Then one day a letter arrived at our house from Britain. There was no indication of the sender, so I opened it assuming it was from an old acquaintance of my father. The Genshin papers! The Asogi papers! Somehow he got the letter out. What I read in that letter changed my entire life. What did it say? It said that my father had been a mass murderer, and the writer cursed the Asogi name. Oh, that's not what I expected. Oh no! As a result of that letter, I found out what had been hidden from me all those years. Letter from Britain. Presumably, the letter was sent from a relative of one of the victims. If whoever it was had been a member of the judiciary, he could have been present at the closed trial. The letter revealed that my father had been sentenced to death, executed for being a killer. I'm so sorry you had to find out that way. I imagine the British government did its best to silence whoever sent that letter. But someone who knew the truth and couldn't bear the resentment was always going to be a problem. But still, it could have been written by anyone. Why would you believe such a thing? There was a newspaper cutting included with the letter. It was the first I'd ever heard of the professor and his terrible killing spree. Well, what did my father have to say about the letter? I couldn't bring myself to show it to him. What? Why not? Because he deliberately concealed the truth from me by telling me my father was taken by a fatal illness. That couldn't have been easy for him, and he'd done it out of consideration for my feelings. So instead I showed the letter to Judge Jigoku. Ah, to the other visiting student. He faltered for the briefest of moments, but then he just laughed the letter off. But in that moment I saw it on his face. He was undeniably shocked, shaken momentarily, but recovering his poise. Ah! Before recovering his poise. A year later, my bereaved mother succumbed to the strain of grief, and she too passed away. That's when I made up my mind that one day, without fail, I would cross the seas to Britain and seek the truth for myself. The truth about my father, Genshin Asogi. And I wouldn't let anyone stand in my way. Oh, Kazuma-sama. Reaper's Trial. What we learned today in court turned things completely on their head. It was an impressive piece of lawyering, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Lord Von Zeeks isn't the Reaper, you know. I almost don't want to believe it myself, but it turns out that Inspector Gregson himself, the victim, was... It's clear that the Inspector was behind the Reaper's activity all along. What? You mean you knew? The real question is, who's been giving orders to the Inspector? Yes, Barak Von Zeeks is the real Reaper. What? And I know that 10 years ago, it was him who decided my father must be a mass murderer and sent him to his grave. No, he was merely seeing that justice was done as the law dictates. He's not to blame. Ultimately, it's people who condemn people. The law is just a tool that they use to do it. Huh. And when a man condemns another, he must take responsibility for his actions. Of course he must. But I know for certain that my father would never have taken another man's life. Kazuma. On the contrary, my father's life was taken by the Reaper. Okay, let's show him the papers then. Present. Kazuma, what do you make of this? There's only one place where defense lawyers and prosecutors should discuss evidence. The courtroom. Okay, so I can show it to him. So it seems you're still confused by the situation. That's what I make of it. I get the feeling my friend's always going to have the edge over me, isn't he? Alright, can't show him anything. Oh, by the way, a picture! Why would I show this? Do it anyway. Do it anyway. Like, why are you showing me a picture? Yeah, it's not evidence of anything. Okay, let's pull out, pull out, pull out. Where do we go now? In some ways, this place seems to rather suit Lord Von Z... Oh dear, did I say that out loud? Oh my god. Well, we haven't been to Fresno Street. Let's go to Fresno Street, I guess. What are we gonna find there? Just cops? So, oh, she's there. Gina. 2nd November, room on Fresno Street. Examine. The, Sholmes might be here. I don't see anything new. Sholmes isn't here. Oh, look at this again. If it turns out that Gregson didn't actually die in here at all, where on earth could he have been killed? Well, one way or another, we must find out. For the inspector's sake. You know, you look awfully pale again today, Miss Naruhodo. Sorry, when I start thinking it all through, I conjure up some horrible images in my mind. Your imagination is the culprit here, then. Most certainly guilty. The wig. He catches your eye as soon as you enter the room, doesn't it? It's such a bright color, it certainly makes an impression, yes. They can't possibly commit any crimes, can they? I mean, redheads stand out like a sore thumb. Are you kidding me? I knew me some violent gingers, I'll tell you that. I'm afraid with our jet black Japanese hair, we stand out almost as much here in London. I suppose that's true. You mustn't think of committing any crimes, Mr. Naruhodo. I wasn't! Look at this again. Using a candle as a timer device. Very ingenious, I must say. Yes, the culprit arranged it so that the firecracker would be set off at 5 o'clock and then left. But that a loud bang was heard at precisely the moment Lord Von Zeeks arrived, yes. If only he hadn't picked up that gun from the floor. Something you probably told yourself once upon a time, I imagine. Oh yeah! Yes, I've learned that lesson by bitter experience. I would have turned and run a mile for sure. Which may not have done you any favors either. Running from crimes is not great. We already picked up the silk. What? We're just looking at it all again? Alright. Whoops. Might be something new. We should look at the board for sure. I'd never have imagined that these little figurine would turn out to be a watch winding key. I suppose it's a policeman because the pocket watch was a gift from Scotland Yard. It seems there was much more to Inspector Gregson than we ever realized. He was clearly a brilliant man. It's the fish and chips that throw us off. I feel as though it ruined his image. I really don't think we should blame one of Britain's staple cuisines. But think about it! Imagine if it was Mr. Sholmes. How would you feel if instead of that old briar pipe that's always in his hands, Mr. Sholmes had a bag of chips? Rather disappointed, if I'm honest. Exactly! This revolver. Just who does it belong to? Well, we know it's of the type issued to members of the police force and judiciary. But Gregson's own gun was found on his person. And of course, Lord Von Zieks has admitted to losing the firearm with which he was issued. Such absent-mindedness, not dissimilar to you, Mr. Nadahodo. I'm starting to think the cold hard prosecutor and I could become friends after all. Then I wish you every success. Take it back, take it back. Oh, we're looking at everything again, yeah. So, the picture. The photograph of Mrs. Vigil. Realizing the identity of this lady was a very great clue to exposing Mr. Gossip's true identity. He obviously loves his wife very dearly. Which is why he felt he couldn't tell her the truth. The transformation was incredible, wasn't it? Just from that big twisted lip. Yes, he went to extraordinary efforts to play the part of Hugh Boone convincingly. Although it didn't really seem like it was much of an effort to me. Now you say it, I have to agree. It's almost as if that was Mr. Vigil's true character. People really are very hard to fathom at times. The board. Here we go. I clicked on the cop. I thought Gina was going to be here. There are details of cases stretching back over 10 years on this notice board. Yes, a history of Lord Von Zieks' defeats in court. I don't think that's an appropriate description. Although, when you consider everything on the board, it's certainly true. That all these people had a background of dubious dealings. And in the end, of course, the board itself concealed the inspector's own death. Oh my, it really doesn't bear thinking about. Where's Iris in all this? Isn't she with us? I don't think there's anything else to look at, is there? I guess not. Where do I go? Let's go see Von Zieks, maybe? No? Present him this. What's that? It's just something I was hoping to ask your opinion about, that's all. It's a serious crime for the defense to attempt to extract information from the prosecution by illegal means. I think we have more of a defense and client relationship now, don't we? No. Alright, okay. Oh, show the papers to the father. Or not. Okay. Yeah, he's not there, okay. Chief Justice, show him President Street. Vigil. Oh, show Vigil the Will and Testament, maybe. Let's see. Examine him, let's see. Nope. Let's read that. These must be the patient's treatment notes. Let's see. Tendency to jump from windows. Remember to place cushions at base of wall outside. Oh my god! Who we a story up from the ground here? Oh dear, poor Mr. Vigil. I can't help feeling that there's a better solution to the problem than a cushion, though. Finding something you'd lost isn't always a happy experience, it turns out. Pursuing the truth can be a very dark business sometimes, can't it? Yes, I'm afraid it can. I think we just gotta go to Sholmes. It's gotta be it. Sholmes has gotta be back at the office. Or sweet. Or not. The way to go. Examine. Look for Sholmes. I am at a loss here. See if Sasato has any hints. Oh, my own place? Okay, I didn't see that coming. Alright, my own place. Tech November Nadahodo's legal consultancy. Or not, what to do? Are you alright, Mr. Nadahodo? It's rather unusual to find ourselves here in the middle of our investigations. It's just occurred to me that I might have forgotten something when we left this morning. Please don't worry. As long as you continue to investigate thoroughly, you won't go far out wrong. Oh, yes, of course. I must get back to work as soon as possible. So I didn't investigate something thoroughly. Let's go to every location then. Once I find where we need to go, we'll stop. I doubt this is the spot to go, but let's go over there. Like he would leave something on the ground for us. Oh, we could have looked at the crime scene thing probably over at a prosecutor office, maybe? Out of the way! Let's look at the crime. This over here. Recreation of the crime. What the? It's a scale model of the crime scene. Oh! Yes, I realize that. Does the prosecution office make a model of the scene for every single case? Apparently so. Oh, that's cool. Sometimes it helps to visualize things better and notice things you hadn't spotted before. Actually, the miniature notice board is my work. Be honest, you enjoyed making that. A lot of wine. Do you know who the man in the portrait is? Why would I? What? But you're Lord Von Zeke's apprentice! Yes, yes, apprentice, not friend. And during the time I was suffering from amnesia, I didn't even notice that picture. Oh, really? I mean, it's not the smallest picture. I wouldn't have the first idea what the man decorates his office with. Not really sure what there is to look at here. Desk pieces? His Lord Von Zeke's is an incredibly stylish desk. It's not my style, though. No, I noticed you've been working at the little table on the floor, kneeling down Shisa style. Seiza style. Seiza. Yep, Seiza style. I thought it was some kind of punishment set up by Lord Von Zeke's when I first saw it. I find it the most comfortable way to work. I can't do it. After a couple of minutes of sitting with my legs folded under me, they start to go tingly. Don't exaggerate, Ryunosuke. We both know you can't even manage a minute. Ouch! Woo, boy, that's just mean. Okay, so it's not here. Because I don't see anything here. Yeah, something's in my eye. Forget the bats! Ask about the bats. Or not. What? You disturbed the bats, did you? Fitting companions of Lord Von Zeke's, wouldn't you say? Actually, I've seen things flying in Lord Strongheart's office too. Doves, I think. Perhaps you happen to like birds to attain rank in the judiciary here. Although pets aren't birds, of course. How about a sparrow for you? What's that supposed to mean? Oh, nothing. Sorry. Just thinking out loud. You want to get stabbed, Naruhodo? You're really asking for it from what I can tell. Alright, where the balls do I go? Probably nothing here. You already gave me papers. Bird! I'd never expect to find a parrot in a prison. It must be the governor's pet. Given where we are, it's hard not to see the poor creature as a prisoner. Let me out! Didn't kill me! Huh? Has the bird learned to mimic the plaintive cries of the inmates of the cells? Oh no! It was one of 3 siblings, you see. He still calls out the names of his brothers like that all the time. Right. Let me out! Didn't kill me! Hey, I hear you, laddie. You want your dinner, eh? Didn't do it. Alright, okay. Clueless. Fresno? It's gotta be Fresno Street. There's gotta be something I'm missing here. Alright, go over everything. Fine-tooth comb, fine-tooth comb. No, I've seen everything here. What the hell am I supposed... What am I looking for? Okay, alright, obviously I'm gonna have to just do this off camera because we're just wasting time. So next time, after I find wherever the hell I'm supposed to go, we will continue from there. So that's it for now. I had fun up here from watching. That's what's up, isn't it? Having fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time.